Good evening. This is Maestro Cretella with a Dawn of War 2 Retribution Elite modcast. Today we have a high level 3v3 on Argus Desert Gate. Our first player today is Sneakus Peakus, playing as the Space Marine Apothecary. We've got a healing commander right here, has a targeted heal, he also has a heal aura, and he has an even better heal aura if you get the armor of the Apothecarian. And you know, I often say he's not that great of a fighter, but he's not that bad of a fighter either, and especially if you get him an upgraded weapon. Next up, we do have Max Power playing as the Force Commander, and he definitely is a better fighter than the Apothecary, so he does not do any healing whatsoever, but he does do a lot of melee countering, a lot of tying things up, a lot of punching vehicles with Power Fists. It really makes it hard to make good on a Dreadnought play. Next up, we've got Fear playing as Sindri, Trollface Chaos Sorcerer. The Chaos Sorcerer is a spell casting hero. He casts a lot of spells. I bet we're going to see some Doom Bolts. He also can infiltrate his units by using his worship. That was absolutely terrible Doom Bolts, though. Doom Bolts is not very good against single entities. And he casts a lot of spells, and he's really annoying and fun. Alright, next up, we got, right here, we got Commissary Sebastian Yarrick as yet another Force Commander. Really going to eat some of these heretics alive, maybe not eat them, but knock them over and really kill these heretics. Next up, we got Ace of Swords, playing as the Inquisitor, just hiding out here in cover. She is a spellcasting hero as well. She focuses a lot on disabling and debuffing. She does also have, well, mostly disabling and debuffing. She also has some things that can make her a nice melee fighter. And then finally, we have yet another Force Commander. We've got the Dark Angels Force Commander with that Roman gladiatorial helmet. This one is played by Giddolo. Did I even say that yet? And he's chasing down some Tactical Marines into the building, going for them. And yeah, that's our last player and hero for the day. So a lot of things already happening right here in the middle, but it looks like the red team is ultimately taking this engagement. There are Tactical Marines in the building. I wonder if we'll see a quick grenade upgrade, maybe from Giddolo's scouts, to scare those Tactical Marines out of the building. But I mean, with the double here, with both Ace as well as Giddolo on top, I don't think the blue team is going to be able to stay here for too long. And you know, in part, I think Sneakus Peakus and Max Power, they did not get as many units. They chose to not get a second scout or a second tack. So they're waiting to make their third squad, some kind of power squad. Inevitably, grenade goes down. Oh my god, explodes two models right there. Really close call. If we had Hammer of the Witches, I think that would actually finish off the Tactical Marine model, but Ace of Swords does not go for it. But yeah, the Hammer of the Witches ability, I believe that just does 100 damage to a target model, and this Tactical Marine only had 33 health. Still, the nade was pretty impressive and pretty devastating. Max Power losing two models there. You're just going to have to pay 150 requisition just to kill those two models. So yeah, we've got three Force Commanders in this game. That's going to be fun, or not. But Giddolo is going for a devastating Marine squad. Yeah, I mean, Yarrick and Giddolo, basically all the players on the red team just got out more units faster. And, you know, I think they are taking a bit of the advantage with it. The blue team did obviously have a early double cap, and that got them a lead in VPs. However, the red team is definitely exerting more pressure at the moment, and I think that has to do with them getting bigger armies earlier on, and them just making themselves harder to force off. That being said, I don't like the positioning of the Sentinel. Yeah, a little bit of a precarious position. A Scout model goes down. Tactical Marines also in a little bit of trouble, and now the red team is backing off. Now, although the red team does have the smaller force, I would say they have the tougher force, because we've got Sneakus Peakus with his Apothecary and that healing aura, as well as just like a Force Commander and all the fun things that come along with that. Meanwhile, down over here, it looks like we've got Space Marines getting forced off by some Chaos Raptors. Fear, did he get a second Heretic squad? I don't remember if he did. I don't think he did, but he goes straight into some Raptors, and his Raptors just scare off a lot of those Space Marines. Meanwhile, things are really going on over here. Multi-laser turret goes up, but I think a grenade is going to go in. Grenade, it does not go in on the multi-laser turret. Doesn't ultimately hit that much. It hits the Inquisitor, and she does get knocked down. She does need to go. The Apothecary is just right in here along, just right up in the face of several Tactical Marines and some Scouts. He is just taking way too much damage, though, and yeah, he's going to get out of there. He doesn't actually achieve that much. And Red Team ultimately holding their ground. Well, still so far there are still some blue team. There are still some blue team units right here. Assault Marines being pretty strong, nearly wiping a scout squad as well, even an upgraded scout squad with extra health. And we also have an upgraded weapon on attacks. They've got a flamer. That should allow them to take out the multi-laser turret pretty quickly unless they get stomped. Stomped actually misses, so they should actually be able to just take out that multi-laser turret right there. So good play. Max Power kind of saw it, but he loses 2 models in the process. Man, I don't even know if that was worth it. He lost 2 more attack models. He's been losing a lot of attack models. But he took out the multi-laser turret, which, well, took it out. But it was nice how he dodged the stomp. The stomp radius is not that big for the Sentinel, so if you are paying attention and you are quick, you can actually dodge the stomp. And then you have a Sentinel with no stomp. And then you can actually threaten the Sentinel with melee units. Alright, Fear setting up right here. He's kind of got like a 1-1, well, he's got a 1 of everything build, although he doesn't have Noise Marines, but he's certainly got a lot of stuff. He's got a Havoc, he's got Raptors, he's going to set up the Havoc, and he's going to be able to bash generators, and right now he's pretty much unopposed. He would be in a lane against, that would be Yarrick, and Yarrick is, I swear I saw Yarrick up on top at some point. No, I don't think I did, actually. But Yarrick is in the middle. Consequence for going in the middle is that he is actually kind of giving up his generator farm, and Fear is moving to intercept, but he was also moving to, well, maybe not moving to intercept, he was maybe just scouting to see what was going on. Puts Coruscating Flame on his Raptors and then jumps them in. Not a bad idea. They're certainly do quite a bit of damage. Right now they're probably going to get hit by the Shotgun Blast from the Catachan Devils, or maybe not. Doom Bolts go in, only 3 Doom Bolts instead of 6, meaning he did not have enough energy to shoot the full 6 Doom Bolts. Overall, though, it does feel like he did go out with only half his force. He's actually going for a cap on one of the natural power farms for the red team, however. And we have a Thunderhammer upgrade. Good job to just draw him into the firing arc of that Havoc, especially there is no teleporter pack. The Assault Marines, well, Yarrick does not have Assault Marines. However, now, Grenade goes in, and it's going to hit the Havoc. Havoc is now in a really bad position, and even if there was force melee from both these attacks, you know what? That should be a dead Havoc. Does not even need force melee from the attacks. So Fear ultimately taking some losses, but he did also node capture and node the power farm. So red team tries to return the favor, but they don't get as much of a generator bash off. We've got a Devastator in the building, but I don't know, setup teams in buildings, or even just the units in buildings in general, although it can be good, at times it also feels like your squads just don't shoot when they're in buildings because they don't quite have visibility. There's like limited visibility when they're in buildings, so a very limited arc of fire sometimes. Even for units that otherwise don't even have arc of fires. Scout squad goes down for Giddolo. I don't know what was going on there, but he just lost a scout squad straight up. He's got another one in quite a bit of trouble, and they're just running out of there. I think they really need to get out of there. They even get knocked down. They're actually getting hit by the Apothecary's ability. And a scout squad, so Giddolo loses both of his scout squads, and you know what? He's probably going to lose his Devastator Marines as well. They're in the building. Giddolo falling apart, and this is still pretty early on in the game. Just some flame going into that building. I think Giddolo's going to be really, really lucky. Oh, man. But Ace of Swords loses his Sentinel, trying to help Giddolo. And although at the same time, Sneakus Peakus is like kind of pushing his luck, but oh man, that last Devastator model just flew out of the building. So Giddolo absolutely got mauled in that particular engagement. Ace of Swords lost the Sentinel trying to help him, and we might even have the Force Commander go down. Probably not though. Slight derps on that attempted retreat kill. And a bunker goes down and is immediately stolen by, is this Max Power? Yeah, immediately stolen by Max Power. And, I mean, actually, at this point, right now, there's no anti-garrison around for, to even take it back. I mean, the Force Commander's not even going to be able to do anything. And we've got double Assault Marines from Sneakus Peakus. He's done this before, double Assault Marines. Although I think it's somewhat suboptimal that he jumped them both in at the same time. If he jumped one in and then the other, he would have staggered the jumps, and that would have allowed him to do better against the Ogrins. As it is, he's actually not doing that well against the Ogrins. The Ogrins did lose... No, they didn't lose a model, though. It's just the Assault Marines. So the Ogrins are just straight up... Wow, the Ogrins are straight up destroying these apothecaries. These Assault Marines, and wow, that was a terrible engagement for Sneakus Peakus. Really underestimated the Ogrins and overestimated the Assault Marines. I mean, Assault Marines, as good as they really generally don't stand up that well to dedicated melee units. They don't do the damage of a dedicated melee unit. And the Ogrins tore the Assault Marines apart. Alright, looks like we've got a Raptor squad with an Aspiring Champion, so he will get a Lightning Claw and a Plasma Pistol. It does make the Raptors a bit tougher and a bit stronger. Will actually probably be pretty threatening to this Assault Marine squad, and of course part of what Fear will want to do would be jump his Raptors onto this Las Cannon Devastator, and then that really clears the way for his Blood Crusher to just walk right in and kill everything else, especially the Force Commander. Blood Crusher right now will actually really hard counter the Force Commander. Although the Force Commander might just try to run away. Anyway, this is max power, I think, still just occupying Ace of Swords bunker with his Force Commander, and the Force Commander in there is actually just shooting out with his bolt pistol. It's quite funny. Well, we've got a Force Commander here, also a Thunderhammer Force Commander. This is Giddolo, so we've got Thunderhammer Force Commanders. Except for Max Power, he does not have a Thunderhammer Force Commander. And wow. Or someone or whoever actually decides to upgrade Ace of Swords bunker. The blue team upgraded Ace of Swords bunker. But at this point, Ace of Swords is thanking them for the upgrade because he will probably be able to get his bunker back courtesy of this Bane Wolf, which will do anti-garrison damage, so it should be able to force that Force Commander out of there, and then with any luck, they'll be able to take their own bunker back. That being said, they're still somewhat under strength, so I'm not exactly sure that they can. Grenade goes in on the Ogrins, and that's actually really devastating to them. They lose one model. Can they make it two? 2 models down? Not even 2 models. Maybe if these Assault Marines go for it right here, but they don't. And that was actually pretty lucky after that grenade. Grenades are pretty good against super heavy infantry. I believe they do full damage, and we've now got a multi-melta Dreadnought chasing after the Bane Wolf. This is a Bane Wolf, the unique call-in vehicle for the Inquisitor, and she actually does, Ace of Swords actually does manage to get the Bane Wolf out of there. I thought the Bane Wolf was going to go down to this multi-melted Dreadnought. The Inquisitor has upgraded to the Inferno Pistol, so she will have an AV weapon herself. She also has the Inquisitorial Mandate, makes her invulnerable, and also makes her move quite a bit faster. Overall, though, let's see, Blue Team is doing pretty well after the Red Team was slightly dominant in the early game, but I think the Blue Team is starting to run away with things. Fear, meanwhile, is over here. He's actually pretty dominant in his lane. The Blood Crusher did get hit by a Las Cannon. It has been hit because it's attacking, so it is partially revealed. And, ooh, this is actually, I don't think this is going to work out that well for Fear. He's a bit under strength. His Blood Crusher is under strength. The Havoc just sets up, but yeah, it's just going to get tied up by the Force Commander, and that ultimately, Fear, unfortunately reacting a little bit late, or not reacting late. He didn't really scout ahead, and he was so far ahead. He was so close to the base that he didn't really get much time to upgrade to that Las Cannon on his Havoc. And upgrading to the Las Cannon on the Havoc also means that the Force Commander has a little more free reign to move around. Force Commander also has the Teleporter Pack, which is going to make him a lot tougher to deal with. So naturally, we do have the Chaos Sorcerer right here with the Robes of Torment. Meanwhile, we've also got that special attack from the Force Commander, countering the whole Chaos Space Marine army right there because they were all bunched up. Meanwhile, we've got some Assault Marines jumping in again. They need to be a little more careful to respect that Ogren threat, but we do have a Force Commander as well here, now with Battle Cry. Although I believe these may be Max Power's Assault Marines. No, those are actually Sneakus Peakus' Assault Marines, but it's a little confusing. Well, Sneakus Peakus still has 2 Assault Marine squads. And at this point, Max Power... Ooh, I thought he was going to destroy the bunker, but now he steals it again. And the blue team has had this bunker more than the red team has. We've got the Bane Wolf back here, but it still needs to be very careful. A guardsman squad just might go down. 37 hit points. Actually, I think it won't go down. But this Bane Wolf needs to be very, very careful about this multi-melted Dreadnought. Needs to be very careful about pathing. A Melt-A-Bomb goes off, but Ace of Swords has already spent a lot of time backing up, and it might even be a little too risky to pursue. Oh no, the pathing from the Bane Wolf, and that will go down. Alright, Raptors going in over here for Fear, and they're certainly, well, they got hit really, really hard, and that's one of the dangerous things about getting something like Raptors against the Force Commander. He will counter them very, very hard with that, with that Thunderhammer. Anyway, Havocs, Fear has double Havocs. I don't quite like this play, as powerful as it would be against the Dreadnought. It's going to be very, very difficult to stop this Force Commander, because right now he just countered both of those Havocs by himself. He might go down in the process. I actually think it might have been worth the effort for the Chaos Space Marines to force melee. Here, they need to move out of the way. Grenade goes in, actually hits nothing, because the Heretics, they didn't have any models there. Didn't go for the Aspiring Champion. But actually, we've got one Havoc squad still out on the field, and maybe Fear could do some teleporting shenanigans using the Warp Global to teleport the Havoc into a better position. I mean, if he he's going to do that exactly, but he didn't already have his Havoc set up. That's the mistake. And now it's just chasing after. It's going to need to set up. He's not even going to have sight on it by the time it moves out of there. All right, back over here. Double Assault Marines jumping in. And we've also got some Stern Guard veterans changing right here. But here is the Land Raider Redeemer. And we just have a full retreat from the blue team right here. I think this is mostly, if not entirely, just Sneakus Peakus. All right, back over here. Well, the Las Cannon for Fear is exposed, but the Las Cannon for him actually doesn't matter at this point. His Las Cannon should really just be on capping duty, not that there's even that much to cap. Looks like he's maybe already bashed the generators over here, so right now his Las Cannon doesn't even have that much to do, other than to hope that he'll hit a model, which is very, very rare, something like a 1 in 20 chance that a unit like a Las Cannon will actually hit an infantry model.
We shall make it so.
Alright, blue team still has Ace of Swords bunker. They've even repaired it. And we've now got the Force Commander tied down by the Excruciators, or the Assail ability from the Inquisitor. These Assault Marines, meanwhile, these are now Giddolo. No, those are Max Powers Assault Marines, and they would have been in a lot of trouble if it weren't for this Force Commander. Force Commander is proving to be really, really dangerous. With their Thunderhammers, we've got a Dreadnought has been hit by a Melt-A-Bomb. I don't even see where the... Oh, the Melt-A-Bomb came from the Stormtroopers. That makes sense. Stormtroopers only at 3 out of 5 models, but they can definitely help to finish off the Dreadnought. Yeah, they just need to start shooting a bit. This should be the end of the Dreadnought. Dreadnought at 147. Ogren's still chasing. A little bit risky, but they should be able to get it. Oh my God. Stormtroopers in a bit of trouble. And now the Ogren's trying to wail on the building, but that's not actually going to do that much for them. So multi-melted Dreadnought goes down. And Ace of Swords actually being very persistent right here, and whoever this is right here, this is Max Power. Max Power, he's actually kind of playing a bit of a fool's game right here. He just lost another Scout Squad. I think he's really staying in too long, and he's lost a bunch of stuff, I think, just trying to stay in here and maybe hold this bunker. And oh my God, the Ogrins are just straight up destroying the bunker. And, well, if it weren't for these tacks right here, they would actually just straight up kill it eventually, but it does take them a long time. Oh, apparently a lot of things are happening over here. We've got a Mark Horn Dreadnought from Fear. And we might have this squad right here go down. Stormtroopers do go down. Were those Ace of Swords? Well, they had to be Ace of Swords Stormtroopers. They couldn't have been anyone else's. I could have sworn I just saw them all the way up top. Maybe they retreated and they came back out right here. Land Raider Redeemer now in a bit of trouble, especially the Las Cannon needs to set up, and the Chaos Dreadnought probably needs to teleport away. Or not. He's actually just going to go with it. But the Las Cannon sets up. Las Cannon is one las cannon is facing in the complete wrong direction. Multi-melt, well, the Dreadnought's going to go down, so is the Land Raider Redeemer. Vehicles dying all over the place. So are squads. I don't know what's going on with these squads right here. These are Giddolo squads, and I think Giddolo just lost 2 tack squads, and he's now down to a single scout squad, and here is the Orbital bombardment on top of all of Fear's stuff. Alright, I don't think it actually wiped any squads, or did it? Nope, did not wipe a single squad, and I feel that kind of happens with the Orbital bombardment. It usually does not wipe anything, unless they're already, like, under strength. Or unless they're really, really squishy squads. But even the squishy squads, when upgraded, tend not to die from that. Like, upgraded guardsmen probably won't die. Unupgraded guardsmen maybe, but you won't have Devastator, yeah. I thought that Devastator squad was going to go down. I think the only thing that saved it was getting reinforced from the bunker, and Ace of Swords finally gets his bunker back. VP lead for the blue team. Red team actually suffering quite a bit, particularly Giddolo has lost so many things.
An ally has secured a requisition point.
It's actually a 2-0, although we had an Inquisitor over here trying to go for the point. Assault Marines going for in the building again. I feel like someone up here needs more anti-garrison. Just get some kind of anti-garrison so that you can just scare whatever unit that tries to go in. Force Commander really disrupting those Ogrins with the Thunderhammer. That is a tracking special attack, so even if they try to kite away, they will still get hit as long as the attack starts. Meanwhile, a lot of ranged DPS going in on these Assault Marines. They lose their Sergeant. Grenade goes in as well, and the Assault Marines are going to get scared off right now. And if it weren't for this lead model being these lead models being so far ahead, I would say they would have been in a lot of trouble. Ogrins are still chasing. A Force Commander goes down. So does a attack model, I think. But Assault Marines ultimately getting out of there. Still Doom Bolts go in, doing a lot of damage to these bunched up attacks. And we also have a rocket run. Oh no! Oh, squad's already died from that. Another one's gonna die. Attack squad dies. So I think Sneakus Peakus just took 2 squad losses, as well as the Apothecary. That rocket run nuke is very, very powerful. It's pretty much completely unavoidable once it starts, and it's very, very good for taking out infantry squads. It's certainly the most reliable nuke in the game by far, and I'd say the main thing that kind of balances it out is that it doesn't quite have the destructive potential of many of the other nukes, especially not something like the Rocks, maybe not the Eldritch Storm. And it still certainly has destructive potential, but it's not as good against the really tough infantry squads or like super unit squads like Knobs, Terminators. Not very good against them, but certainly squishy infantry squads, even some of the more medium-strength infantry squads like Assault Marines and Attacks, it's pretty good on, especially if they are under strength. And that rocket run also just hits in retreat, so you can use it like on a blob that's retreating under strength, and it can be absolutely devastating. Especially very, very valuable in teams where basically just where there is naturally a lot of blobbing and there's just so much going on. The rocket run can be really, it can be game-changing. Assault Marines jumping in. We had a Plasma Cannon Devastator shot went in, but ultimately didn't do much before the Plasma Cannon Devastator actually got hit by the Vanguard Veterans. Vanguard Veterans jumping all over the place. They are level 2, and Doom Bolts go in as well. Doom Bolt's actually scaling pretty well into the late game. Huge damage potential from that ability. We've got a Force Commander right here, about to disrupt everything right here. Nope. Battlecry is apparently not active at the moment, so Force Commander might even be in a little bit of trouble. And he should have been able to activate Battlecry. Looking at his energy, there's no way he used it already. And the Force Commander actually goes down. Meanwhile, we've got some Assault Terminators from Yarrick. This actually could be very, very risky, especially if our Sorcerer right here gets the Tome of Subjugation. He's already got the Robes of Torment, needs the Tome of Subjugation. Combine that with his Chaos Space Marines, and he's going to do a massive amount of damage to these Assault Terminators. If he gets some kind of other high damage squad, fear that is like another squad of Chaos Space Marines, upgraded Chaos Space Marines, or his own Terminators, he could really destroy those Assault Terminators. But meanwhile, it's all about this Orbital Bombardment at the moment, as well as that Pegasus. I think a Stormtrooper squad just got wiped entirely. Yes, it did. It got wiped entirely by that Orbital Bombardment. Las Cannon takes its shot on the Predator. Oh, triple Las Cannons. 3 Las Cannon shots on that Predator. You need to be very, very careful. I'm surprised it can even move after getting hit those 3 times.
We have 100 points remaining. Understood.
And suddenly everything has gotten so quiet. The VPs are roughly even, 82 to 77. Players are just walking around, not even really engaging yet. Inquisitor just goes in. She just totally YOLOs it. I figure we might see some Brigatis or something if she's just going to go in like that. Instead we see some Assail. We see yet another Orbital. This hitting a bunch of stuff. Just, well, not actually hitting that much. Not the greatest Orbital. We've seen some juicier Orbitals already in this game. Attacks get knocked around. Things just explode. And Assault Marines jumping in all over the place. So many Assault Marines in this game with so many Space Marine players. It's pretty scary. And Ogrins going in, but they do get snared by the Chains of Torment for the Sorcerer. Pretty much just about everyone seems to be up here right now, since Fear is up here. He was otherwise in the bottom lane. Shoots in some Doom Bolts. Meanwhile, Sorcerer now in a bit of trouble getting chased down by the Ogrins. He will go down. And meanwhile over here, we had something called in. We have Terminators called in right next to a Predator. They go for it, but now they're being kited and outrun. They're also going to be hit by some Lightning Claw Terminators. They really need to be very careful of that. They teleport out of there. Plasma Cannon Devastator hits the Force Commander and kills him. And ultimately it looks like the red team is taking the better end of this engagement. These Terminators need to get the heck out of there. They're getting shot apart. And we also have an Imperial Abyss kills a Guardsman squad. And scares a bunch of other things off. Meanwhile, Avana goes in right on top of these Plasma Cannon Devastators. Or actually, that might have just been... Yeah, that was just a special attack. However, he's going to take out these Plasma Cannon Devastators anyway with that great Unclean One. And ultimately, Red Team definitely did not win that engagement. I thought they were, and I was totally wrong. And now the Vomit goes in, and actually goes in, hitting both attacks, as well as the Devastators. However, does not knock over the lead Devastator model, who switches to a Las Cannon at a rather inopportune time. And that Devastator actually just barely gets out of there with only 1 model. This is actually not bad news. I was going to say bad news for the Great Unclean One, but now these Lightning Claw Terminators from Commissary Yarrick do not have the better end of support, and we have yet another Orbital Bombardment. Has the Terminators in there. I don't think it'll even kill the Terminators. Could I be wrong? I'm totally wrong. It actually did kill the Terminators, and it killed 2 Terminator models. They did not have that much health left. We've got a Lehman Russ now out for Ace of Swords. This one's still just with the default Battle Cannon, so we'll be able to do a decent AV damage, as well as still do splash damage against infantry. Alright, Lehman Russ moves forward. Las Cannon from Commissar Yarrick takes shots. It's hitting the Great Unclean One, doing some damage as well as snaring it. And we've got a lot of the blue things, especially Max Power, just moving right in. Sneakus Peakus is in here as well. And the Lehman Russ now taking shots, did get snared by a Melt-A-Bomb, I believe, and also taking hits from this Chaos Havoc, but it is getting repaired. Great Unclean One down to a quarter of its health, and you know what? Just might go down here, but it does get infiltrated. Lucky for it. Apothecary is going to go down right here. these Ogrins, despite the special attack that knocked the Ogrins over, and the Apothecary is just immediately either repurchased, or, no, not repurchased, gotten back with Laramy's Blessing. Something is in here. A Chaos Heretic squad goes down. We've also got some kind of... We've got a Pregatus just snaring, not snaring, but stunning a bunch of things. And a red team, now they've managed to take this, and I guess all three players are just fighting over the top right now, because, just fighting over the top because that's really what's important. And blue team, now with not a whole lot of time, these Chaos Space Marines, I'm sure, are going for a decap over here, but there is a Plasma Cannon Devastator to try to deny that decap. Because it's going to take a lot of muscle to try to push back. Las Cannon right here is setting up, going to deter the approach of these two tanks that are kind of coming in forward, and the Apothecary can't expose himself too much either. But it looks like Chaos Space Marines can't even get the decap off. I think this might be it for the blue team. Yes, and Yarrick's calling the GG. These Assault Terminators cannot do it. They get knocked over along with the Chaos Terminators. Chaos Terminators get another claw swipe in, and they take out a Chaos Space Marine model. Meanwhile, over here, not Chaos Predator, but just a Predator goes down. And generally, of course, non-Las Cannon Predators lose to Las Cannon Predators, since the Las Cannon Predators are doing almost twice as much AV damage. But ultimately, that's going to be it. Red team is definitely going to take this one. And another Imperial Abyss, just for fun at this point, practically. Wiped something. I'm not even sure what. Alright. Hope you enjoyed the cast. Have a good night.